Okay, so I'm making this video because I want my ideas in the world to get out there. I don't know. This idea that I have it's to me one of a kind, but I can share this idea because if somebody steals it, it'd be a good thing because then it wouldn't matter. I'd be able to get and so could everybody else what they wanted. So think about this idea for a minute. What's our problems in this world? People that want to be in control, right? So what gives them that? Right now, it's what whoever owns the banks and the banks. Like, yeah, they're powerful. They're conglomerates or whatever they call those things, conglomerates or philanthropists and all that other stuff. Think about this for a second, though. What does the banks control? The bank controls the flow of the economy on the land. What does a river have? Has a bank, a river bank. Well, that riverbank controls the flow of water in the river. So if you did away with the banks and stopped trying to control the flow, well, it would replenish like Mother Nature intended. So financially, things would spread out. And on the water level, it would spread out and get water to these trees that are over here that have been getting it. Or it would take the bank off so it would just do it naturally. And it it might be chaotic at first, but you see, the only reason we can't change the world with my simple design, which I'll get to, is because it would take all the jobs away. You have to have something in place before you can do that, which is technology comes into play. So, what if I, I would imagine this, and I need a chemical structural engineer to like build this for me. This is what I'm sending out to people. Look, I just want this idea to get implemented. So my idea is this: the banks have an incentive. It's powerful. They want to be in control. But in my design, which I would call a quantum D-wave machine, and it's a quantum printing machine. Like right now, they have 3D printers, and 3D printers make molds, and then they print it out. And it's slow right now, they say. But what if you had a quantum four-dimensional printing program, right? And all you did was there would be like this concept where how are you going to get the like points for this system? Well, it's based on a computer. So a computer AI would read your biometrics and it would tell you whether you were a good person for the day. You only get points in this system if you're good to people. And you could even develop like a app or something where you had to go in order to gain points so you could eat and because this will print food, it'll print everything with nanoparticles, nanograins, and everything would be printed in my head here. This is what I'm trying to, like, I don't know how to build it, but I can think of it. It's a machine that everyone has in their home, and you could set up to it and be like, hello, Mr. Groff, and it would be like this board right here. Be like, today you've earned 34 points for being a good person, and all you had to do is hold a door for, like, people, or, like, if you're on the bus and, elderly person comes on, you get up and you let them have their seat, or a lady with their kids, like, here, go ahead, like, that's good though, because it's building good character. So your incentive now is not to worry about what other people are doing. You worry about yourself. And therefore, you're the only one that's in control of your destiny. And then there's not an incentive to like ruin people and destroy people. All you have to do is be kind to one another. And a computer, when you got home for the day, would read you and go, damn, you were good. It can tell through your algorithms, your facial, I don't know, like computers are pretty amazing. So think about that. If they did that, that would replace the bank. There'd be no reason for money. You could get anything you wanted printed for free almost. It's that easy. Like, uh, now they say, well, who's gonna do this and who's Mother Nature gave us these sand, for instance. Sand builds glass. It makes concrete. Just don't take it for granted because if you take it for granted, it would cost you. See, these construction industries, man. Like they say they're taking it for granted and they up the price, all this major prices of everything. Why do they do that? To control you. So if you come up with this technology that would actually like allow you to get it for free, as long as you just have this machine, you were good to one another in life, nobody would have to work. We could get the minerals for free. At first, you could start doing it by the people who are like terribly ruining life. Instead of sending them to the federal prison systems, all these people that run them, like all these politicians and all these lobbyists and stuff. Instead of sending them there, send them to Nevada to work and mine our are elements. Like, get all the elements out of the land. Um, you could actually probably build robots to do this stuff instead of having slave traffic in like Africa. Or you see what they do? These poor people, they like pay them pennies on the dollar, and it's terrible. Even in India, they're killing each other over sand. Like, sand is that valuable because sand builds things. It builds windows, builds computer chips. If you heated up sand and mix it with something else, you could get computer chips because the monatomic gold in the seawater, it gets heated up and it's. Ah, I hate when they call me schizophrenic for thinking like this because this is real life applications and it makes me sick to my stomach. Now, they do it to a lot of these people out here that are just creative and very gifted and they're talented. They just don't know how to get to where they got to go. And unless you fall in line where you pay all this money to go to these colleges that are going to pass you anyways because, well, if they failed people, nobody would pay the money to go there. So, like, it's all a big scheme. And that means you got a bunch of dipshits running the world that just come for money. Like, they're not. Do you really think they earned those degrees? Like, come on. If these schools really would, like, uh, if I owned a school and I was owning a big university or something, I'd be like, you better pass these damn kids because if not, that's your ass, professor. Like you won't have a job here because I can't have something in the paper that says all my students here at the university are flunking and failing. No, you better say they're doing damn good. And how else do we confuse people from worried about that? College football and basketball games, keep them distracted. Just keep them distracted. All they care about is their team doing good. They're not worried about nothing else. I mean, just think about it, dude. School should be free for everybody who wants to learn. If you want to learn, and like that way, you can really find out who the real dedicated, intelligent ones are in life, instead of just because I've on paper I knew how to look good and I paid all this money and I got in debt. Now I owe this money and I followed them around like. Well, I mean, those are good people to have. Yes, we need people like sheep. You know, hey, do as you're told, pay your taxes. Yeah, all right. But come on, like then they say that gold backs the dollar and da 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 da. I don't believe that for nothing because what happens if the dollar goes away? Then what do you got? You got a bunch of gold, but who needs the gold anymore? This dollars ain't worth shit. I mean, what can you do with the gold? Can't eat it. It looked good on you, but it's not going to help feed you. It's not going to go to work for you. It's not going to go out for the day and find a bunch of well, what? What do you want? What's our whole goal every day we wake up? I think we've lost sight of what's important in life. Like my goal is to just try to like, if I could uplift somebody or make one person think a little bit differently to like, whoa, like this is real simple. Life is not as complicated as it has to be. Uh, I don't know. If you can change somebody in a positive way, then you did your good. Like say you said hi to like some 95-year-old person. And you're like, hey, how you doing? And they're like, they just look at you. But think about that. How many friends and family they probably like lost over the years? They're probably lonely and nobody even like acknowledges them. They just go right by them. But if you said hi to them, they'd be like, what the? But they probably wouldn't forget it. They would think about, I saw this nice gentleman and he didn't look very nice, but he was so nice. I don't know. You never know. Like, you think about it, like, because you acknowledge them. Like, they do exist, like, but we're so consumed with, like, but just think about that. This machine then I come up with, it could read that and you could go and get whatever you wanted. You could have lobster dinners because there's nanoparticles that build it for you. Or you could even use plant-based burgers and so forth and use the grains and it would just build it. Like, okay, I'll order a hamburger that's made of protein, plants, and then you don't have to. I don't know. That's another subject, but I just don't see why this idea is so hard for me to like talk to the Elon Musks and so forth. I've been trying to reach out to these people, man, getting them emails. I got ideas. And the thing is, they probably already have this somewhere, and they're probably just not utilizing it yet. But it would be one good way to like right now all they do is they lock up people for the economy. Like that's all they do. All the money they make is based upon that. Think about it for a minute. What's their incentive to keep these prisoners behind bars? They wouldn't be criminals if the upper white collar class bastards would stop being so destructive and being so evil. These lawmakers and so forth, like, well, they wouldn't have to go to another means to try to feed their family. if they didn't have $1,700 rent to pay, like, so why else would they pool them all together? This is where it gets deep. Why else, world? Why else do you think they pool people together? Like, I don't know, districts, and this is gonna get heavy. So, and there's evidence that can back this claim. Watch this. So, why would they want to put people in prisons and put them in rehabs? And do you think it's because they care? I don't think so. Maybe the people that run them might because they're delusional. But do you think they really give a damn? I don't think so. The bottom line is the bottom dollar, right? And that's why you need to stop the banks and so forth. Because sanitation, my friends, sanitation. Let's take a look at human waste products this evening. It has a substance in it called FMT. If you don't believe me, look it up. Ladies, if you're wearing makeup, take your local makeup to the fecal matter sector. See if they find fecal matter in your makeup. And they will. You have to understand something, people. Our world is based on getting you sick and keeping you alive on medicine. How do you think they make prescription medicines? Human wastes. And all they do is split it. It's fermentation. Like when they make alcohol, they use rotten fruit and they gas it. The sugar, 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 sugar. And rotten fruit. A kicker, right? It's rotten. Well, think about when you eat. Where does it go? It goes inside your body. And it ferments. And it comes out as, well, you know what it comes out as. But that's fermentation. Now, if you cut that with a chemical, I bet you could get a lot of power out of that stuff. And yes, indeed, prescription medication comes from fecal matter sanitation, human waste. Everybody's scared to talk about it. I'm not. So, because it's an intelligent guess, it's just an intelligent idea based on the patterns I've seen and done. My thoughts have been like dedicated to this, but everyone says I'm schizophrenic and well, yeah, I guess it'd be smart to say that about a guy like me because I'll take your control from you and your industry because if you told these people this stuff, they would stop locking people up. And how do you do that? You just don't ship for them. You got to learn how to get rid of your own wastes because there's places that are selling it right now. They'll buy your human waste. Yes, they will. And they're giving you pennies on the dollar because of the amount of money they make from this stuff. Oh my God. Biofuels, makeup products, prescription medications. And where does that all come from? It comes from locking people up and pooling the money from sanitation together. So, yes, Sam has figured it out. No, I think I have, but don't call me delusional. It's not going to matter. So I just tell myself this. I post the video so that way I can be remembered. At least one day they'll go, oh my God, this idiot knew it all along. Well, you know, anywho, so back to the design thing. First, stop shitting, people. Like, seriously, find another way to not give away free stuff because then they'd have to admit it and then they'd come out and say it and then it would be better for everybody in life because they'd stop locking people up because there's no profit in it anymore. Then you think your tax dollars pay for that? There's profits being made. They're making profits now. Maybe they send people to jail to make philosophical profits. No, I'm just kidding. But for some reason, maybe that's how you learn. Maybe that's how I learn. I don't know. But yeah, so they would stop doing that, and they would stop that industry dead in its tracks because that's where all the money comes from: insurance, pharmaceuticals, corrections. It does create a lot of jobs. Yes, it does. But if you use this computer idea that I have that reads your algorithm, if that's your incentive is to do good to one another, that's it. And you worry about yourself because the next person's not going to make me do good. It's not going to get me any points in this design that I have. I hope it comes out in my lifetime. I do. I believe that it will, and I will get this message to somebody. And it doesn't even matter if someone steals the idea because guess what? Everything would be free then. Everything. All you would do is just go and be kind to one another. And I would even develop an app where you got to come up and touch base with them and just go, hey, how you doing? It gets people out of their house. You touch it, you get close to their phone and be like, oh, hey, you're all right. But you're gaining points as you're doing this. And it's gaining points into your technology. So That's that idea. That's what I would love to do. But a more simpler idea right now, let's just get this really going. Stainless steel straws. Now they're marketing it like saying that stainless steel is bad or plastic straws are bad. Blah 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 blah. What does stainless steel do? Bacteria doesn't live on stainless steel. Certain types of stainless steel, bacteria doesn't live on it. So if you made it a law now, like with this COVID crap everywhere, think about what plastic straws did. They just banned them anyways around California. But think about what that does. Who's this? Okay, think about what this does to people. Uh, it it basically allows porous. It's porous. Plastic is porous. Excuse me, I had a call coming in. It's porous, okay? Meaning that any bacteria, somebody coughs in a restaurant or something, like that, it goes into the air and it sticks right in your plastic because plastic is porous. It's not solid, okay? Most all things are porous, but stainless steel. Now, if you made that, it'd be cheap to make. It wouldn't be a lot of money to make these straws. They could use magnetic system. Yeah, they could use magnetics and sanitation yards or whatever to pull those used ones up. You could tell the people to throw it away. You could incorporate it into the price. Like you could just bump the price up a little bit and say you're charging for ice or something instead of giving them a soda. I don't know. Just think about it. But you tell them it's mandated. We have to use stainless steel straws. Stainless steel, everybody, doesn't allow bacteria to live on it. Therefore, you couldn't get sick. So everybody was using this. You know the residual income on this? I already did the math, and I would profit just by, and I would have to pay out like $200 billion. There's 30,000 restaurants across this fucking world. Excuse my language. Across the world. I would start with Yum Yum brands because they own like Taco Bell's, KFC's, and so forth like that. I'd pitch this to them. That's what I want to do. So if somebody knows this, send them this video because I think they could make a killing on this. Like stainless steel straws, that's genius. Like, and even people that were like health conscious, they can use bamboo. Bamboo in India, they have this whole pattern how they make them. Bamboo don't inhibit bacteria either. So that's the green side. I like the steel because it seems like solid. Plus, America likes this all steel, whatever. I agree with that though. The steel, it's stainless steel. It's stainless steel. My biggest problem I'd have with this is like somebody would fall and get hurt, and the stainless steel would go to, but put a rubber tip, but it's down from the steel itself. So basically, it's rubberized a little bit, so it's safer. But it should be mandated since there's all these flus and viruses going around. That would stop the spreads of infection. It would make billions of dollars. And it's a good idea. And you can recycle it too because you just pull it up. When you send all the trash to the thing, conveyor belts and so forth, it would suck up every straw. People just throw away. Don't have to reuse them. I see all these people reuse yours. Who's carrying around straws and reusing them? I'm not. So I'm looking for straw buyers. Isn't that kind of weird? You know what a straw buyer is? Look that up. That'll get you in trouble. But I really am. I'm looking for somebody who will buy this straw idea. It has nothing to do with guns either. But it's just like, it's almost like they knew in the future that this was going to happen. I don't know. You'd have to look up what the straw buyer is and just look up federal indictments, what straw buying is. Anyhow, so that's my, I'm 19 minutes into this. I don't know. If anybody watched it, at least they were listening or captivated. No. Just at least you listened. Sometimes my thoughts go a little bit array, but see, I don't have to like watch this again and see if it made sense to me. If it made sense to me, it doesn't mean it's going to make sense to someone else. So it just has to make sense. So I think you could start off with this straw idea. At least that'll get me to a platform where I can utilize my residual earnings. Because if your straws are constantly having to be rebought by all these industries, my God, they're rebuying them, and they're cheap. They're not expensive. Look them up. There's stainless steel straws all over the internet. But I would buy the ones for like, I don't know. You get so many for like a couple bucks. You get tons of them. I had a bunch, man, that I was gonna use to like pitch this idea for like at the Yum Yum brands and so forth. Like, or even get them. You can't send them to Targets and Walmarts. I mean, that's where they're doing it, but that's just to save the environment. No, this not only would save the environment, it would also save your health. But see, that's where they probably don't want you to get healthy. Then they wouldn't be able to sell their cold medicines and everything else. But if people stop shitting everywhere, there's going to be no reason for medicines or anything like that because you're not going to be able to get people sick. Now that I'm thinking like this, like you're not going to get sick. Now I've had these ideas, people for the straw one's newer, but this other one for a few years now. I just haven't talked about it. But I wanted to find a way to like really make it to where people can't control one another. I don't like all that control. People want to get off on controlling people. Like there should be one rule in life. It's not to break them. I mean that's a good idea, but it should be don't ever ruin someone else's life just to make yours better. That's like the golden rule, and everything else falls right into place. Like yeah, as long as you're not ruining other people's lives, what's the big deal what other people do? Like I don't know. Because it's control. It's just it's stupid, man. Like this whole soldier idea. Like, come on, like get over yourself. Like, there's no wars unless you're creating them because they're profitable. Like, people want to have a good life and have fun. Like, live in a pleasureful arena. Like, just to have a good fun life. I would think. But anyway, I hope I don't hope. I'm gonna make this get out somehow. But I would like to go to Shark Tank. The problem with that is, it take you years to get on the Shark Tank. It'll take you years. But I would pitch this idea for the straws. Think about that straw, man. That straw is very important, and I already have it, but they're not marketing it right. Like I would market it differently. Well, bacteria. So if anybody out there knows someone, they just steal the idea. Who cares? At least we'll be moving in the right direction. You know what I mean? Like I don't need the credit for it, but I'm saving. What is today's date? Yep. Because at least if they come up with this idea now afterwards. It's 6:53, November 30th, 2020. This is Samuel Walters. Oh no, I'm just kidding, Barbara. Anyways, yeah, that's about my 22-minute rant, but it's not a rant. This is like real deal applications that I just don't know. I mean, I don't know where to go to begin this stuff. I didn't go to school, so it's like or college, so I don't know where to go. But then again, I wouldn't even want to follow in those. Hey, you ever look up the School of Business at Duke? The School of Business, look it up. Just look it up, dude. You'll laugh. Look it up. It's spelt like this. The School of Business, Fuqua. The School of Fuck Ya. The School of Fuck Ya Business. Fuck Ya. It's Fucqua. The School of Fuck Ya Business. That's the name at Duke. That's what they call it. Sorry, dude. You decided to name it the School of Fuck Ya. Yeah, the fuck you out of everything in life. But honestly, I thought that was funny. So anyway, I'm gonna get off here. I got another one that I want to talk about too in the next segment here. It has to do with God bangers. Yeah, not gangbangers. God bangers. This is getting deep. So stay tuned.